Alright, good afternoon everyone. Can you all see my screen? Okay, so today the point of this is just any questions users may have, things you've come across, you're not quite sure how to do, things like that. One thing I did want to start with is a lot of companies are starting to use the forms, the reservation and the payment forms. One thing that was on the new release that wasn't in any of the notes at the time was this right here, where you can allow API to merge profiles. What that does is that uses a match process, so if you have an existing client already in Vacation CRM and they fill out a reservation form, it will see if any of that matches with existing profiles, so it doesn't create a duplicate profile. So it is pretty strict, so there still will be the occasional duplicate profile, but then at that point you can use the duplicate removal tool to just merge the profiles. But that is something that was added, so if you are using the forms, you want to make sure this box is checked. So that out of the way, does anyone have any specific questions about the system? Okay, so the forms for each agency, if you go into your system settings, you will see a link here that you can have this embedded into your website, and then the company can go to your website, click on reservations or payments, and this is what it's going to look like. So there's 5 total steps. They'll fill out each step at a time. The payment is optional. Everything with the star here is going to be a required field, and when they submit it, you will see that pop up in your dashboard under the agent reminders. So this is one that I did the other day, and you can just see it'll say new reservation request or new web payment request, depending on which form they fill out. I believe you can embed it in any website you'd like. I don't know much about the Facebook business websites like that, but I would assume so, because it's all hosted with Vacation CRM. Yep. Yes, so if you already have a trip booked with the client has it booked, and they want to submit a payment for it, they would fill out this one. So they select who the agent is. The confirmation number is going to be their booking number, and that's part of the match process, so Vacation CRM knows which booking it goes with. No, it doesn't matter. The main point of this form, the reservation form, is it will create a profile with all of this information in it. So the names, legal names, passport expiration dates, contact information, trip information, what dates, all of that will automatically be imported into Vacation CRM for you. So you don't have to enter any of that. Yeah, usually the form will be if they're making an additional payment with a different credit card that you don't have on file, because it'll have the electronic signature and all that, so you are authorized to run the card for X amount of dollars, however much they put in there. You'll see once you select that, it gives them a spot for payment amount right here. It says what? Oh, travel protection? There you go. Yes, you will still manually process the payment. This is just the information for the payment. How much, what the credit card number is, all that stuff. Anything else? Sure. The address field for the hotel. Anything that there's not a field for, and I'll just go to one of these. You can put an invoice comment here, and you can add anything via text there. So that'll show up on the invoice. If it's an agency only comment, that will just be on this screen for you. It will not show up on the invoice. So this is anything you'd like the client to know. Like a lot of times I'll put in here like requests that I made with the hotel if I didn't pull them in from the booking. Like request early check-in, request, birthday celebration, anything like that, I'll put on there. Even though the hotel doesn't see that, that's just to let the client know, hey, this is what I requested when I booked your trip. You're welcome. And this one is more, this is what I'll use, any notes that I need to remember, like if there was a price match on it, if I want to put the dollar amount of how much the price match was, or anything like that. So that's only what you will see. Yeah. Yeah, the form, if you go to settings and your system settings, you will see a link that you can embed into your website for both forms here. So that's what you would use, and it will have these exact forms here. If you want your own customized form, you can still have one built. There will just be a cost, and you'll have to find someone to build the forms for you. But it's still optional, but a lot of agencies didn't want to go through the hassle of getting that done, so we just provided you with a generic one that will work for almost all agencies, and that's what these two are. I'm sorry, what was that? If it were me, I would just, when I send out this form to whoever I'm working with, I would say that when you fill out your reservation form, make sure to put in the comments section, you're part of this wedding, and just have them put it in there. But yes, if you want a form that has that already built in, you're welcome to have that built, and our system would work with forms, other than these. You can have someone build forms for you, customized for your agency. I have no idea. If you want to email me, we have one person that we've had do a lot of the forms before these came out. He just did one for Beach Bum, and I think he did one for Trip Guy, and from there he was familiar with the system, so he got a lot of referrals just based on that, and he's done very well with it. I don't know specifics on that. I know that Canadian suppliers are something that we are also working on, because we do have a lot of Canadian travel agencies signed up under us now, so it is something we're working on. I don't have specifics as far as what step we're in, or how close we are with any of them yet, but I can definitely find that out. If you go right here, do you have a drop down like this? It's not showing your codes or users or system settings. Okay, it might. It's what? Yes, that would be correct. If you don't have admin rights, you can't see all of this. Yeah, or just have them get them put on your website. Because if you have multiple users, the first thing it will ask on the form is who is your travel agent. So your name will be on that list. They'll select that one, and that determines whose dashboard it goes to. So this is Mitch's, so as long as they select Mitch Torren here, it'll show up on his dashboard. No, this is Steven. Hi. That's alright. Yep. Right. I mean, actually, if you want it for test purposes, you can just highlight this and open it, and you can see your own form. And if you have multiple agents, you'll select this, it'll have your agents here. So the end of it is kind of like a key code right here that's unique to your account. Yes. Yep. Yeah, the forms are very much plug and play, ready to go without much work at all. Just getting it put on your website is the main thing. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, like what? Right. Yeah, that could be something for sure that we'll, I'll go to the others about and, see, because it wasn't a priority before because there wasn't that many agents using the forms, but now that they're available for all agencies to use, that may definitely be something that we could do. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. If kind of my rule of thumb is if it's got a different booking number, put it as a separate reservation within that trip. Because a trip would be from the client time they leave their front door to the time they come back, and you can have multiple reservations within that. Um, the lady that does our payroll, she will just email an agent. Like if she sees that happened, she won't fix it for us, even though she can. But she'll just email you and say, I can't pay this out until you create a separate reservation for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've run into it at my agency a little bit, but it's not even an issue anymore now that, I mean, it takes some time for everyone to get used to it and figure it out, but you can see what I have up right now. This is just one that I made up, but you can see the supplier is TI and then Lomas Travel for the transfer, and that's how they're going to want to do it. Plus, it protects them, if they bundled both of these together and say, there's $100 commission for the TI booking and then it says 0, but if it was another 50 for Lomas, and then they get their $100 from TI, and you just put it as paid, you're never going to look back at that because it's going to show that it's already been paid, even though it's short $50. They're not going to know, so they could be missing out on money doing that way too. Well, I think the system just assumes that if it's not paid in full, it's not happening, and there's not going to be commission on it. I believe that's the logic behind that. Um, because once you make you what? Right. Anything else? What do you mean? Oh, you mean they fill it out and automatically will link it to a group? Okay. I don't know on like the back end of that if that's a lot of work or if that can be done easily without any errors, but I can ask about that. In the meantime, I mean, another thing too is if if you're working with clients and you have a destination wedding, if the dates in the resort match up, a lot of times you're automatically going to know this is part of that group. I mean, it's not 100% if you have two separate people going to the same resort, but that'll help you narrow it down at least. But I can definitely ask about that too. Well, you couldn't do a checkbox because the data doesn't go both ways. It only goes one way. So it goes from the form and sends to Vacation CRM. But the Vacation CRM can't send info to the forms to have which groups are available to check. So they'd still have to type it in. But I don't think it would be a problem putting in a box that says, a checkbox, are you part of a group? If yes, then another box will show up where you type in the group name. That's alright. Yeah, all you need to do to figure out that address is just click on this. And I don't have Outlook open right now, but you'll see this. This is the address that it sends to. So what happens is when any email goes to this address, the system will search any profiles with this email address and attach it to it automatically. So if you send it outside of Vacation CRM, you can just blind carbon copy this email address, or if you've already sent it, you can just copy and paste this and then go to a client's profile, and on the correspondences tab you can manually add it here. So you can put the date, email, paste it in, and then hit save and it will show it in there. Does that make sense? This is alright, so this is a client's profile here, and every client has this correspondences tab. So let's say, let's open a new tab here real quick. Yeah, so say I send this email and this wasn't in here. If I just send it like this and that's not in there, but I can go into my sent folder, find this email, copy it, and then go to this client's profile, and I'm just going to add it in manually. So I'll say I sent it on the 2nd, it was an email, and this is it. It is for your agency. This is a demo account, so that's why it's tested demo. Usually it's, you just click on the email icon anywhere in the system, and when it opens an email for you, like this is the test_demo, this is the name. Usually it's your agency name, like whatever your agency ID is, at emails.vacationcrm.com. But to figure that out the first time, what's that? Right. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you there? Mm-hmm. All that means is that your computer, it's opening to your manager's default email account. So, like if I click this, do you use Outlook? Okay, so if I click this, by default, it's going to Beach Bum Vacation, from Beach Bum Vacation. But I can click this and say it's from Vacation CRM. So you may look here and see if, because it sounds like the default account for Outlook on the computer you're using is your manager's. Is that correct? Well, that's all through Outlook. You need to go into your Outlook settings and take out her signature. And it sounds like her account, even if it's sending from her account. If you just go to your options here, or not options, I'm sorry, if you go to File, and I don't have it open, but right here will be account settings. It'll show it there, and you can click on that, and you probably have 2 accounts on there. Well, that will be right above the 2, right here. Do you have more than one thing here? Okay. Yep. No, these are called mail to links, so you see these all over websites. Like if there's a contact us or email us button on someone's website, usually it's a mail to link. So all this is saying is, when I click this, open my default mail program with this pre-typed up message to send to this client. So it's a Windows setting or a setting on your Mac. What program do you use for your email? You have to tell your computer what your default one is and how it handles what's called a mail to link. Does that make sense? Usually if you just search on if you're using Windows, if you just go here and search for default programs, and then you'll see for your emails for mail to, it'll have something to the right. And usually by default it's Outlook, but some people use Thunderbird or Gmail or anything like that. You can set it up to use different programs. There is a way. I've Googled it for a couple users. It's not as straightforward as just selecting, in default programs. I know if you're using Chrome, there's an extension you can download for Chrome that'll let it work with Gmail better. I've ran into that before, but if you search around, you can definitely find instructions on exactly how to do it. Just search like mail to links with Gmail. If you just Google like how to set up mail to, all one word, links with Gmail, you'll find some information on it for sure. And if you have Outlook, you can use your Gmail account in Outlook. Yeah, so you never have to go to a web browser and log into Gmail. You can just open Outlook, because my Vacation CRM account is a Gmail account. It's powered by Gmail, so I use that through Outlook. I never log into Gmail for that. Yep. Any other questions? Yep. I haven't heard of that, because when they fill out the reservation form, it only had the option previously to pay in full or deposit only. Now we have an other amount. We just added that last week. So there may be that issue now if the deposit's actually like $500 and they want to pay $300. Obviously that's not going to do it. You're just going to have to reach out to them and say, hey, this is your deposit. But they should know exactly what their deposit amount is beforehand. And the only reason they should select this is if they want to pay more than the deposit but less than pay in full. So somewhere in the middle here. But, no, I haven't run into any issues with that. Sure. The form is the same for the entire agency, but it will, if there's multiple agents on an account, it will have a list like this on a drop-down menu. Once in a while the client will accidentally select the wrong person, so they'll go to them, but usually what my agency will do is they will either email an admin like me and say, hey, whose client is this? Or they'll just email everyone at the agency and say, I got a reservation for this client, whose is it? So that they can send over that information to them. Yep. Well, what you can do is you can select all agents here, and that will show anything that's come in for everyone. So, once or twice a day, just look at that and just see, if there's a new one, and then you can, make sure that agent is on that and sees that. Yeah, you can, as long as you have admin rights, you can see all of the agents on the dashboard. Any other questions? Yeah. I know with these forms, and I believe with all of the forms, if it, like, these are programmed that if nothing matches up, it will fail, and the client will get a message that says it didn't go through, so you won't get anything. I believe they're all like that, but I'll have to double check. So if everything's wrong on it, it shouldn't go into the system at all. You're getting an email is what you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you email that to me, and I'll dig in there a little bit more and figure it out for you exactly what a better process, or maybe we can change something that'll make it easier for you. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. Are you being clear to the client to put in their booking number in there? Right. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, email me at Steven with a PH at vacationcrm.com, and I will forward that on to the developers and work with them to see if there's something that will make your life a little easier with that. Anything else? Okay, well, thank you everyone for attending. Yeah? Hello? Yeah, and if you guys have any more questions, you can always email us, and we're going to start trying to do more of these with new, enhancements that we make, just general questions, things like that. Try to schedule them once a week or so. So, if anyone has anything they really want to learn more about, specific topics, email me and let me know, and I can try to set up a training for that specifically. We can do that.